There are currently more than 19.3 million nurses in the world. That's more than the population of Denmark, Honduras, and New Zealand combined. In America alone, there are 5.5 million nursing professionals, caring for over 8 million patients in need each day. In places like hospitals, doctors' offices, schools, and a whole lot more. But even with the large quantity of nurses, the quality of the profession remains at an all-time high. After all, not just anyone can be a nurse. It takes an individual with strength and endurance. In fact, the average nurse lifts around 1.8 tons a day, about the size of an Asian elephant. 4 miles, the average distance a nurse walks every day on the job. That's 28,288 miles traveled over their career, more than enough to make a complete trip around the world. Want to walk just a mile in their shoes? You'd better be a good multitasker. But becoming an expert in nursing doesn't happen overnight. It takes lots of education, and the hard work doesn't end there. On average, a nurse cares for 6 to 9 patients during a single shift. That many patients requires a lot of patience, not to mention a lot of quick thinking, critical thinking, and not thinking about how full their bladders are. In all, nurses put in over 11 billion hours of work each year. And during that time, they not only encounter more urine, vomit, and finger painting than the average preschool teacher, they also face more injuries than construction workers and more assaults than police officers and prison guards. But those hardships are not in vain. Nurses not only extend the quality of our lives, nurses save lives.
In addition to the video, on average, a nurse saves about 90 patients a year, and I am proud to say that I'm one of them. My name is Samantha Guerra, and I am a nurse at Orlando Health in the emergency department. It took me about 18 years to realize what my purpose in life was, and that is to provide the best care possible for patients under my care, following rules and regulations, never giving up, and doing my very best to aid them in every aspect as possible. No matter what day or time it is, I know that every patient under my care is getting the best out there. As a nurse, the fast-paced environment always keeps me on my toes and on a roll to complete all the care needed for all of my patients. Caring for people that need assistance and are ill gives me satisfaction and a rewarding feeling. Being paid for something that I truly consider a passion is absolutely amazing. Every day after I go home from work, I have a smile on my face knowing that I made a difference in someone's life and that I saved a life. Not only do I save lives, but I save hundreds of tears from being shed from patients, family, and friends. Having such a positive impact on the community and even the country makes every stress and difficulty worth it. I knew that this was the career for me. It all started when I was a sophomore at Boone High School when I discovered the Boone Healthcare Academy of Health Sciences. This allowed me to get hands-on experience with putting on sterile gloves, personal protective equipment, getting patients in and out of bed, and everything that is included in being a future health professional. In my final year of the program, I had the opportunity of completing clinicals at Orlando Health. This allowed me to get the behind the scenes on what it's like to be a nurse in a hospital on a day-to-day basis. From job shadowing the professionals to witnessing surgeries and assisting with the little things that I was qualified to help out with, all allowed me to finalize my decision on what my career path I will take. I chose to major in nursing. In order to become a nurse, I have to major in a bachelor's degree because that's what hospitals are requiring for new hirees, and I would like to work in a hospital. I decided to complete my first 2 years at Valencia College and then transfer to the nursing program at UCF and finish my final 2 years there. Since the program at UCF was limited access and I had to make sure I had a seat into the program, I completed all my prerequisites for the program as soon as possible, and then I applied for the program so that I had a shorter waiting list. This allowed me to ensure a spot and have a shorter waiting time, and then after I applied, I finished all of the prerequisites and all the other requirements that are needed for the AA degree. I also had to get a GPA that was way higher than the minimum. which is 3.5, and I maintained a 3.8 GPA. My secret to success is to not procrastinate, and as soon as I got an assignment, I would begin it. And if there were several assignments, I would write all of them down on a calendar with the due dates, and then I would prioritize which ones need to be completed first. This allowed me to get ahead on my work and be a successful student since I had plenty of time to study and complete all my work before the due date. And then I was able to do final touches and check everything. I learned this from one of my classes I took at Valencia called New Student Experience. I carried this with me the entire time I was a student in college. When I got into the program, it was literally right after I finished with Valencia, hence the name Direct Connect to UCF. Nursing school was the hardest thing that I have ever done in my life. It requires so much studying. If you think you're going to pass nursing school without studying, you are wrong. It requires tons of nights of staying up, studying and studying and studying. I was able to fund my college via Florida Prepaid College. I also got military spouse scholarships, the First Generation Scholarship, the Emmett Page Scholarship, and the Walters Family Scholarship, and a lot of other scholarships. With all the studying and the hard work, I was able to obtain my bachelor's degree with a 3.8 GPA from both Valencia and UCF. And after you graduate from nursing school, that is not the end of test taking. In order to be hired at any healthcare facility, you have to take the NCLEX and the TEAS test, which is required by the state, and it requires a lot of studying as well. I studied for weeks and weeks for the exam, and the entire time I thought, the better grade you get, the more likely you are to be hired. So I studied, and thankfully I passed with a very high score, and I was ready to apply for different opportunities at different facilities, which hospital. So I emailed the lady that was in charge of the clinicals that I conducted when I was in high school, and I asked her if there are any job opportunities available because I finished nursing school, and I let her know that I had experience and I was in the program. And since I was in the program, have experience, and I did really well with school, I was then given the opportunity for a job interview the following week. I was then called 2 days after the interview and was told that I got the job. On my first day of work, I realized that the quote that a woman I career interviewed with when I was back in college had said something to me, and it has stuck with me since my very first day. And she quoted,
First of all, if you want to be a nurse, I think you have to be a people person. You have to be comfortable around people. You are going to see people at their absolute worst when they need you the most. So you have to put away any kind of prejudices aside. You have to respect them for who they are. You have to respect their culture.
to all the nursing students, take that into advice because I took it into advice and it has helped me my entire nursing career so far. And take what I had said into advice because that will help you. I've been there, I've done that in nursing school. So if you are still interested and intrigued by what you have found out and what nursing consists of, then continue to pursue your purpose and destiny as becoming a nurse, and good luck.